Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Glazier's Hall here on the bank of the River Thames for the final press conference for Saturday night's stacked card of boxing action taking place at Stratford City in East London at the Copper Box Arena. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing and sponsored by William Hill, StubHub, and JD Sports. It'll be broadcast live around the world, exclusively here in the UK on Sky Sports, and exclusively in America on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are in the heart of London. And today we are surrounded by London heart. And I'm specifically talking about one man that's up here on the dais, a young man from Croydon, the WBC flyweight champion of the world, Charlie Edwards. His story is incredibly moving. And it seems like it belongs more in a Hollywood script than that of a young pugilist from Surrey. But it's real, and it now lives in the British boxing history. Anyone that's followed this young man's trajectory, his ups, his downs, his trials, his tribulations, to watching him become a world champion in front of a home crowd last December at the O2 Arena, becoming the best 8-stone fighter on the planet, and him fulfilling a dream, but more importantly, fulfilling a promise to his ailing mother. And then we watched as it came full circle, and he goes backstage and he presents his mom with the championship green belt. Truly an amazing sporting moment. And if we can just for 1 second forget about boxing, forget about belts, purses, bright lights, to me, that's a true champion. And when I think of the heart of London, that's what I think of. So, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night, great fight card. Charlie Edwards on the top, and here to introduce you to him and all the other fabulous fighters on the card, the president of Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Oh, don't worry about a round of applause for me. What about that? Yeah. What about that from David Diamante? That was another level. That was another level. I don't know how I follow that, and I don't often say that. Well done. Well done. Excellent. Thanks for coming today. It's absolutely packed in here, and it's packed on the top table as well, because on Saturday night we are in the capital, as David said, at the Copper Box Arena for a night of World Championship Boxing. This young man to my right, after just an incredible moment at the O2 Arena in December, gets a chance to defend his WBC title, the only WBC champion from the UK right now, in Charlie Edwards, defending against Spain's Angel Moreno. From Maravilla Box, from Sergio Martinez. They sent another fighter here in February called Sergio Garcia, who boxed Ted Cheeseman. We all know what happened there. And they feel very confident that they can go away as world champion on Saturday night. It is a stacked card, not just the fighters at the table here, but also on our table as well. Joshua Buatsi, who I see as one of the very, very top talents in world boxing right now, gets a chance to go for the British title against the mandatory Liam Conroy. A great grudge match, the British and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Championships between Waddy Camacho and Lawrence Okoli. One of the most exciting fighters who we all saw lose for the European title in Newcastle, Lewis Ritson, finally, I'm so glad I could say finally, moving up to 140 pounds to challenge for his first title against German Benitez. It's a delight to have Jay Quigley on the card as well in his first fight in the UK, Sean McGoldrick, and also the professional debut of Shannon Courtenay. I'm glad I said that right, Shannon, who is had a great story, so much traction, so much narrative, sold a huge amount of tickets for Saturday as well, and this is a really, really stacked card live on Sky Sports and DAZN on Saturday night. Before we hear from the fighters, I'm going to pass over to the head of boxing for Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? And well done, David, for that phenomenal introduction. It is a great, great story with Charlie, the WBC title, the one that AJ wants, the one that so many want in boxing. Fantastic to see that gleaming on the top table here. What a night this is. We've just had a couple of really good shows from America. Dimitri Bivol in Turning Stone last week. We're in Philadelphia with Katie Taylor's wonderful performance to get the third belt on her aim to become undisputed champion. Terrific atmosphere in Philly. But you know what? I'm really glad to be home. In the heart of London, as David was saying, this is a phenomenal show. This is exactly the sort of show we want to bring you each and every time on Sky Sports. The top table is just packed. They're great fights. There's great belts on offer. There's just great moments that are going to happen on Saturday night. And for the leading lights of this show, you know, there's so much ahead of them. There's so many riches available. It's the next generation, as we've said before, Eddie and I, at the beginning of the year, you know, as the likes of David Hay and Tony Bellew and James DeGale and George Groves and, you know, at some point Kell Brook and Amir Khan will all follow into retirement. You know, this is the chance for these guys and girls. Terrific to see Shannon Courtney. You know, she's been in at Sky. Absolutely brilliant to get to know her story. Jason Quigley, I've got to say, it's fantastic to see you, my friend, former Sky Sports scholar. It's been brilliant working with you over the years. And everybody, you know, from Lewis to Joshua to Lawrence to Liam Conroy, I know, has worked so hard for this. It's a really great night, so I say to everybody, tune in, enjoy it. I think it'll be action-packed, and I think there'll be, as I said, so much narrative to come from it. So, yeah, let's look forward to a good one.
Thanks, Adam. Start with Sean McGoldrick. Sean, welcome. New trainer in Jamie Moore. How have you found that, and how are you looking forward to being under him for the first time on Saturday?
Training's gone really well. I've been there for about 9 weeks now, 9 weeks. Everything's gone perfect, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday night. Obviously
a stellar amateur as well, Commonwealth Games gold medalist. You see all these guys around you that were on the GB team as well now going on. Many of them who you were teammates with have won world titles as well. Must give you big inspiration to go and try and do the same.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it was, for all these boys, obviously, is you know, a dream to be where they are, like, you know, so hopefully in the next couple of months, you know, a year, 2 years, I can start pushing on and get to where they are.
Jay, welcome. Your first fight in the UK. I didn't even know that until I read it earlier this week. I hope that's definitely true, that fact that I read. Couple of Donegal guys come to the workout yesterday to see you. I understand you're having your teeth done, which is a bit worrying, but, you know, I understand it was necessary.
Not the Michael Conlon ones, no.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks to Golden Boy as well, obviously working a lot with them at the moment. Excited to be on your first UK card with Sky Sports.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, coming over to London, I've 15 pro fights now. They've all been in the West Coast, East Coast of America, and I'm delighted that my management team, Sheer Sports and Golden Boy Promotions and Eddie are working together to get me on this card here in London. I remember one of the first times I spoke to Eddie was the Kell Brook fight when he boxed Spence over in Carson in California, and Eddie came up to me and says, we're going to have to get you over in the UK sometime. So 4 years later, Eddie, we've done it. I'm here now, and no, I'm excited. This is great. Obviously, the reason that I'm over this side of the pond now is because I'm training in Sheffield with the likes of Dominic Ingle, and training's been going great, camp's been great, feeling good, and looking to put on a show now on Saturday night.
It's unquestionable that for a middleweight, the only place to be is with Matchroom or with Golden Boy and on DAZN. You have so much in front of you if you can reach those levels. Obviously, we've got Canelo fighting Danny Jacobs on May the 4th. Golovkin will box in June. Demetrius Andrade with us as well will defend his title in June. How far do you feel away that you are away from those levels? Is that something for the end of 2019 or 2020? And huge fights in front of you if you can keep moving through the gears.
Yeah, it's exactly as you said it, Eddie. You know, I'm absolutely delighted to be a middleweight in this prime with the likes of Golden Boy, DAZN and Matchroom working together now. All the big names, all the big fights are in the team that I just mentioned, and I'm ranked number 5 now in the WBC. That green belt that Charlie has up there, I'm looking at my eyes on that, not Charlie's, but the WBC middleweight one. So, you know, it's exciting times for me. And as Eddie says, all those lads are up there, they're looking at each other, but I'm on their heels and I'm looking at them right now and chasing them down.
Look forward to seeing you in action on Saturday night. Shannon Courtney. Shannon, I've followed you on social media for probably about 3 years, watching you go and bash up other girls in the amateur setup. I love the way you fight, so aggressive, and your stories really caught the attention of the British public as well. Looking forward to your debut on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think the British public's really got behind me, and the support has been crazy. Like, I can't even tell you how much it's been appreciated. So I feel like now I need to go there Saturday night and really do the business, just to back up what I've said and then see what happens.
I just had coffee with Adam Booth a minute ago. He's very excited about your development as well. How important is it to stay calm on Saturday? We know how passionate you are about the sport. We know how many tickets you've sold for this event. You're going to be live on Sky Sports as well. How important is it just to stay calm, listen to Adam, and basically do as you're told?
Yeah, I think I've stayed quite calm throughout the whole process. Even now, I feel really calm. I'm not nervous at all. So I think going into the fight, because there's a lot of support and there's a bit of a hype about me now, that I've got to stay cool-headed and just take it all in my stride. The main thing is you only have your debut once, so I want to enjoy it and not try and spoil it by being too nervous or not staying calm.
I know this has been talked about a lot in the build-up to your debut. I think one of the great things about your story is we all know all fighters have great narratives, all fighters have great stories, and when you look at the men's game and you look at what boxing has delivered for the likes of Anthony Joshua, people up here, Lawrence Okoli, Charlie Edwards, Joshua Buatsi, how it can change their life in terms of instilling discipline and respect and structure and that regimental lifestyle that can keep them away from, you know, the dangers of another kind of life. Boxing's done that for you as well, hasn't it? Not in exactly the same way, but I think this is such a great situation where there is a young female boxer who can show how boxing's changed their life as well as all the other great role models out there.
Yes, it's not just changed my life, it's actually saved my life. If I'm honest, I dread to think where I'd be right now if it wasn't for boxing. So yeah, I'm so glad that I found it. And yeah, it's not often you hear a woman with a story like mine. And I haven't got a massive amateur background, so coming into this, I've kind of taken it upon myself to do the work. And yeah, I think Saturday night I'm ready to steal the show.
I think there's probably not enough young girls, if you like, taking not an interest but involved in fighting and boxing, because I think sometimes in many schools and families it's almost frowned upon that a younger, I've got 2 daughters myself, and I don't think it's the done thing to be sending younger kids or younger girls to ABCs.
Yeah,
how do you encourage that? What have you got to say about that?
It's not obviously massive for women. I think it's definitely getting bigger, and you've got the likes of Katie Taylor, who's just won another world title on the weekend in Philadelphia. So I think women's boxing is definitely getting bigger and bigger. You know, I've got a little sister who's only 12, and the thought of her fighting is just absurd to me. But I think as a boxer, you've either got it in you or you don't. And yeah, I think the bigger women's boxing gets, the better. And obviously, I fight, if I'm honest, like a man. I don't mind standing there and trading and going to war, which some women don't seem to do. So I think it'd be interesting to see a woman who's willing to go there and trade and go toe-to-toe with another woman.
Fantastic, fascinating as well. Lewis, Sandman Ritson, obviously it was a crushing loss at the end of last year. We were jumping in Newcastle, we had 9,000 people in there. You were expected to go in and win the European title. We saw on the night, and after the fight, really a shell of Lewis Ritson, I feel, at 135 pounds, and a big blow. And now back to it at light welterweight. New opportunity, new challenge, new weight class, and a new title to be fought for on Saturday night in London.
Yeah, just can't wait to get back in there. 5 months ago, massively disappointing. And what can I say? We'll be back better, and can't wait to get in there Saturday.
What has that taught you about the game, particularly? I mean, you were flying, weren't you? You untouchable, breezed through everyone at the domestic division. Obviously, selling a huge amount of tickets, 9,000. Did you feel almost untouchable? And is that one of the reasons that you waited so long to move up to 140, because you just felt that you were unbeatable?
Yeah, we should have. You know, me and the team have sat down. We probably should have moved to 140 a good couple of fights ago. But when you're knocking everybody out and on the crest wave, and you know you don't want to, and we're doing stuff that we shouldn't have been doing to make 135, and you know we'll learn the hard way. But we'll be back at 140 and we'll be better.
You will be. I look forward to you fighting for your first title at 140 and returning to Newcastle very, very soon. Absolutely fantastic nights up there. The British and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Championship. Plenty said in the build-up to these fights. Wadi Camacho, we've had on so many of our shows over the years, almost looked like his career may be over maybe 2 years ago, and has just been on the most incredible run with Steve Goodwin as well. I don't know if Steve's here. He's done a great job with Wadi, bringing him back, winning multiple titles, and of course winning the Commonwealth Cruiserweight Championship at the back end of last year. Now has a chance to win the Lonsdale belt against Lawrence Okoli. Wadi, welcome. Again, following you on social media, you've trained so hard for this fight. You look in tremendous shape and you're ready to go.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Training's gone fantastic, but the main thing is my mindset. You know, like I said, I've had various fights and I've had many mistakes, but you know, it's all about the mindset and the mindset is so clear, and with my lovely team that I have around me and the support, it's been amazing.
Obviously, Lawrence is far more inexperienced than you in the pro game, had a short but successful amateur career as well. What have you seen from him so far in the pro sport? It's been a mixture of performances, really, some very explosive ones and some other good wins, but haven't been as impressive to the fans. What do you see in him that makes you believe you can beat him on Saturday night?
Like I said, his performance has been, it's been okay. Like I said, anyone that has stepped in the ring, he's done what he had to do. If it's wrestling or winning by points or knockouts, but like I said, everyone all the time says, "Oh, I'm done." Guess what? I keep coming back, and once again, you know, it's time for me to rise up.
Lawrence, a big night for you as well. People talking about, you know, the potential of obviously being so high now with the WBA, maybe a Lebedev shot, but this is absolutely the focus now on Saturday night, British and Commonwealth Championships against Wadi Camacho.
Yeah, definitely. It's an amazing turnout, and I'm happy to be on the table with such amazing fighters. Definitely, I'm looking forward to Saturday. It's a big opportunity. I don't want to overlook Wadi, but you know, there's big opportunities as long as I can get rid of him in good fashion. And you know, it's just interesting because I see Wadi on social media, you know, calling me names, does an interview, so on and so forth. But then when he comes up here, he's very, you know, quiet and respectful. So hopefully he can bring that same energy on social media to the fight, and then we can have a good fight. And I hear him talking about, you know, a new team and so on and so forth. So it's good for him that he's, you know, mind's right and stuff. But I hope in the fight as well, when I start landing on him, because I've been working religiously on not holding on the inside. So we're going to go to work. That same mindset stays there and that same spirit stays there. And then we can have a great fight.
How are you finding that criticism, if you like? Obviously, you've had so few fights now, just 11 fights, won the WBA International, the Commonwealth Championship previously, the British Championship. You know, part of you has to say, that, you know, the public have to say this is incredible how quickly he's risen to the top, beating some very good fighters in like Matty Haskin and people like that, but still a little bit of criticism about some of your performances. And I know sometimes you rise to that and you react to that, but does that frustrate you, or does it...
It doesn't frustrate me because I get to go home, look at myself in the mirror and just be realistic with myself with where I'm at, what I've done. When I stop and think, you know, I was working at McDonald's, yet somehow I become an Olympian, somehow I became European champion as an amateur, somehow I've won the British title, somehow I've won the Commonwealth title, somehow I'm going to knock out Wadi Camacho on Saturday. So for me, it's I look at reality as opposed to, you know, what other boxers say, what other fans say, like him talking about wrestling, so on and so forth. I just look at real life, and real life is I'm going to stop Wadi Camacho badly on the weekend.
You win this fight by stoppage?
Yeah, 100% I win this fight by stoppage. And also I'm going to make some more prophecies if I'm allowed to do that now. I think I'm going to stop Wadi Camacho. God willing, if I'm able to do that, then as I said before I turned pro, before the end of 2020, even this year, I'm winning a world title. That's it, so let's make that happen.
We'll see Saturday night, British and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Championship, Wadi Camacho against Lawrence Okoli. The British Light Heavyweight Championship, and obviously the second British title fight on this card. I think this belt is such a beautiful belt, and I think every young fighter should aspire to win the British title. Especially once, if you can win it outright, fantastic, and keep this belt on your mantelpiece for the rest of your life. I think it's a major, major statement for any young fighter coming through. One guy that has earned his shot at the British title and has been on an incredible run domestically in the light heavyweight division, Liam Conroy. Liam, saw you yesterday at the workout, looking great shape. Obviously the underdog for this fight, a lot of people talking about Joshua Buatsi, but you seem really, really up for this.
Yeah, I just want to thank MTK Global for building me to this point, as well as my trainer Johnny Roy. We've put in a great camp, and yeah, I've put in the camp for a lifetime, so I'm feeling brilliant, and I'm looking to put a performance for a lifetime in tomorrow as well, on Saturday, sorry. The
first fighter from Barrow Furnace, not just to challenge, or to win a British title, but to challenge for a British title. Obviously a lot of support coming down, we know it's a long way, but you've got good support up there. Will go down in folklore. from your town if you could pull this off on Saturday night?
Yeah, it's a big thing to me to be putting Barrow on the map in that kind of way. I'm like dead proud. Everyone from Barrow is like dead proud to be from up there, and everyone's getting as excited as I am. So it'll be a good night. We
know that Buatsi is a very fast starter. A lot of first-round stoppages in his recent fights as well. How important is it for you to start fast and sharp in this fight because you know about his early spike?
Yeah, I'm going to have a fast start in order to be competitive and win the fight with Josh. I think that's my experience will show in them early rounds also. But yeah, he's a fast starter and he gets people out there early, so it should be explosive to start with.
Josh, again, I believe any prospect coming through the ranks should try and win this belt. I know it's a belt that's very important to you as well, and a very important fight for you on Saturday night.
It is. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a quick one to congratulate Dalton Smith, turned professional, with the baby sky suit there. You look good, man. Again, to congratulate Charlie once again for what he's achieved. Sandman, we welcome you back to London. When I boxed in Newcastle, you welcomed me. I appreciate that. A lot more names that I've missed out, and I want to welcome you all to London. But the British title is important for me. I've said many times is something that I feel I must win on this journey. Conrad has said this is his dream, so he's going to come. This is a man fighting for his dreams. But Saturday night, I'll be there, I'll be present.
Obviously, you've had so many successive first-round stoppages now. You really haven't done the championship rounds. I know no fighter wants to go those rounds, but do you think you'll get it on Saturday night, or do you see this fight ending in quick fashion as well?
As always, man, I'll say I think I'm going to get it. Like, all my last 3 fights that ended in the first round, I thought they were going to go the distance. I prepared for it, but you get in there and, again, it's easier to talk outside the ring. And like Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they get punched. So Conrad, he's going to come, he's going to try. I prepared for 12. If it goes 12, beautiful. If it doesn't, people will be entertained. So Saturday night.
I know you as an individual definitely not looking past Saturday night, but I have to say a word about the light heavyweight division right now. It's just a sensational division. Obviously, Dmitry Bivol signed with Matchroom Boxing as well, Artur Beterbiev, Grodzik as well. It's just a fantastic division and a very difficult one. Sergei Kovalev. Some huge fights out there for you if you can conquer domestic and European level.
Huge fights out there, like you said, but the goal right now is to conquer Britain. Saturday night I'll deal with that, and maybe people will step up. We take the fights nationally, we make it happen, and again we look forward to your guidance and my manager, my trainer's guidance to make the next move.
Look forward to that British Light Heavyweight Championship on the line, Copper Box on Saturday night. We move to the main event, like I said, the WBC Flyweight World Championship. Our only WBC World Champion in Charlie Edwards, and Maurizio Suleiman, the president, will be there flying in for the fight on Saturday night. We look forward to welcoming him. And we welcome Angel Moreno as well, and his translator as well. A big opportunity for you, and you must be excited for the challenge of the world title on Saturday night.
Sí, afronto este título con muchísima alegría, pero no sorprendido, porque bueno, venimos esperando esta oportunidad de hace tiempo. Lleva mucho tiempo en las primeras posiciones de las listas, y creo que es el día y la hora perfecta para hacernos campeones mundiales.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, I come to face all this with a big smile. I'm not surprised at all, because for a while now we've been waiting for this opportunity. We've been in the first rankings. So I think that it's a perfect time, the perfect place to become a champion.
Obviously, you've sparred with Charlie Edwards, and you both have great work rate, great punch output. We should expect a very exciting fight on Saturday.
Sí, este sábado será un gran combate. Ya nos conocemos, y el que salga con ese cinturón sabe que va a conocer el infierno, porque esa pelea no es para menos. Es una pelea en la que no le quede a nadie ninguna duda de que hay dos boxeadores que se van a dejar el alma, Y quería apuntar otra cosa que en la anterior rueda de prensa no se tradujo literal. Me gustaría que todos ustedes conociesen lo que quiero decir. Me gustaría que este sábado, cuando gane el campeonato del mundo, no se le deje a Charlie como un juguete roto, porque seguirá siendo un gran boxeador, y quiero y deseo que le sigan dando todas las oportunidades que se merece, aun cuando yo sea campeón del mundo este sábado.
Good luck with it.
Yes, and well, on Saturday we will have an amazing fight, and I know that the one that comes at the end of the fight with the belt will have gone through hell, because it's going to be the fight of a lifetime. And something else that I would like to mention about the last press conference that maybe wasn't understood as I meant it is that on Saturday, when I win the world title, don't leave Charlie aside as a broken toy, because he has huge potential. He's a huge fighter. But so keep on supporting him even when I become the champion on Saturday night.
It's very kind of you, Angel. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so I like this now. Team Edwards, you're going to be a broken toy, he said. He said some other things as well. They were terrible. The lady didn't mention them, but I'll tell you about them later. Firstly, an extremely proud moment for you and the team in December, but that's kind of over now. You know, that it's now about defending this title. You are the champion. What have you seen from Charlie in this camp and in his mindset since he won that belt in December?
Like we've said now, we've moved on from that now. It's a new era for Charlie. In the gym, same old focus with Charlie, but he seems a little bit calmer in the gym. Now he's champion, his attitude's changed a little bit. He seems really content, but still driven. And his mind's, he can relax a little bit now. It's as if he's chasing a car and he couldn't get to it, and now he's sat in car driving it. And he's been a lot better in gym, yeah.
Obviously, some words from Angel Moreno. He's obviously extremely motivated for this opportunity, like any fighter would be. The style should gel into a great fight, and it should really be all action on Saturday night.
Angel, very good fighter, very good solid fight, as you've mentioned before. He could cause a lot of problems. He's got a tricky style, but we've studied it. We've come up with a couple of game plans, and he better get ready.
Charlie, I guess you'll never be bored of talking about that night, but we're focused now on the future. You are world champion. You see the look in Moreno's eye. We remember the press conference in December. I remember the look in your eye when you were looking at that belt on your opponent's shoulder. With absolutely every desire in the world to win it, you now face the same desire from a challenger on Saturday night.
Yeah, 100%. First and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to David for that introduction. I really appreciate that. Also, I'm headlining my own card, and I feel so blessed and grateful for you, Eddie, for giving me the opportunity, for Sky, Adam Smith, and for all the fighters on the card. I've got some great talented fighters and friends on the card, so I just want to show appreciation to them. Regarding on me being a broken toy and stuff like that, talk's cheap. But I understand that he is very hungry, just like I was in my my last press conference before I could become champion. But me winning this world title, it hasn't made me relax anymore. It's made me more determined. I want to go down as a British great, and this is the first step on my journey. If anything, it's made me a better fighter. I'm more confident. I'm more adapting to situations that I never thought I'd be able to adapt to. Things are just clicking left, right, and centre. And it feels great. It feels great to be coming and headlining my show in London and coming out as world champion. These are dreams that I had from a little boy, laying in bed going to sleep at night. And the reality is, it's all coming true, and that's from hard work, belief and faith. I'd just like to say thank you again, Eddie, for this opportunity and believing in me even when I was down at the bottom.
You are headlining on Saturday night in just a wonderful era for not just British boxing now, but worldwide boxing. Do you feel the pressure, obviously not just to win, but to look good and make this an exciting fight, or is it you're just purely focused on coming out victorious and moving on and unifying the division?
No, I don't feel the pressure. I'm living in the now. I'm living in the present moment. And I'm enjoying what I'm doing first and foremost. I'm in love with my lifestyle right now. I've wanted this for so long, to be a world champion and to be in the #1 spot. And all the years of hard work is paid off. And now I'm here, I feel at home, and I ain't leaving anytime soon.
And finally, we see you repeatedly hurt Rosales in the last fight. I know it went the distance, but he's had a great chin as well. And see some stoppages from you recently on you definitely sitting down on your punches more, punching harder. Do you expect this fight to go the distance on Saturday night? We know that his only defeats have been a controversial loss for the European and also a defeat to Delakian for the world title, the current world champion as well. Seems tough, seems durable. Do you think this is going to go the distance on Saturday night? Will you be looking to try and get him out of there?
Angel Moreno is a top-class, world-class fighter. I've shared many rounds with him in the gym, and he is very tough. I wouldn't be surprised if it went the distance, and I've fully prepared for the distance. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if we got him out of there. We're a completely different animal now, and what Grant has installed into me got me back to basics, got my footwork so much better. I'm planting when I'm hitting my punches, and my record doesn't say I'm a puncher, but in my last fight, you see that I kept Rosales off, and you can see what an animal he was. So I must have been gaining respect. So either way, I wouldn't be surprised, but I will say it's going to be a Charlie Edwards win in style, a punch-perfect performance.
And finally, when you go to that Bible of boxing, Box Rec, and you look at these divisions, seeing you as 1/1, the #1 in your division right now, how does that make you feel, and what confidence does that give you to go forward and like I said, try and win on Saturday and unify in 2019?
Yeah, it feels great to see that, but I've always believed I was #1. Even when I jumped in with Casemiro and it was too early for me, I still believed I was #1. It wasn't my time then, and I've always had this self-belief, and it is nice to see it on paper. It is a real buzz, but yeah, so it's a great achievement for me, but it's not about being #1, it's about bettering myself day in, day out. I'm obsessed with getting better. I want to push my boundaries. It don't matter about no one else, just me.
Thank you, Charlie. Great words from the WBC flyweight world champion, and a huge card on Saturday night. We'll see you for the weigh-in tomorrow, back at East Winter Garden, and we look forward to a great night at the Copper Box on Saturday. Thank you. We're going to have